My name is Joshua Holmes, and I am the CEO of Ethode. We are an implementation partner for dotCMS. We've been with the product since infancy, 1.6, 1.7 version. And we have a staff of about 35 developers, and we spend a lot of time of our work integrating dotCMS, doing implementations, and extending its capabilities for our clients. We also can help with the UI implementations and the DevOps side, the system administration, integration, and server maintenance side. So NoCode is one of those things that has been going on for a long time, but we're starting to see a lot more ramp up of marketing professionals making the decisions in the IT purchasing content standpoint, right? So when you're dealing with staff that don't know code, they can't get budget to hire developers, and they can't realistically get things done quickly by making requests to IT, the best tool in their pocket is a system where they don't actually have to code anything. There's no request to a technical expert. So they can go into a system, they can make the changes that are required to move them down the field in their marketing efforts, and they lose that lag feedback loop that they deal with when they have to have an expert in the code every day to make minimal changes. That is a movement that is only going to continue to gain momentum, and you'll see most of the CMSs that are on the market, if they don't make those sort of changes, they'll realistically never compete. So a headless CMS for us is one of the most valuable pieces of our business. So 70% of our business is what we call integration work. So imagine you're a hospital system and you have systems from the 70s and the 80s, and you have data in it. You have systems that were stood up in the 90s or the 2000s, and you want all those systems to have a web presence, and you want that data to be accessible by the end customer. A product like dotCMS allows you to have data in that system and pull from it what you need from the API and put that data in the user's hands, whether it's a mobile app or whether it's a web application, or it could be an internal system that's being used by employees. Having a headless CMS allows you to worry less about the data and actually be more focused on where it's being used and how it's being used as an end customer or an end user. So for us, dotCMS is the main CMS we implement for our clients. There are a lot on the market. Realistically, though, dotCMS, rather than saying this is a box, please buy this box, dotCMS is one of the few CMSs that allow you to actually extend it. So regardless whether it's code that's enterprise or licensed, we have an option of writing plugins on top of it that allow us to do something with the product it doesn't do. When you look at other CMSs that are enterprise ready, you see there's a lot of vendor lock. They're trying to lock you into their product, and if it doesn't do what you need it to do, realistically, it's going to be another layer on top of that product. You might buy another product to supplement it, but you're not tying into the actual CMS itself. The value for us as a coding shop and an integration team is that we can take dotCMS and it becomes the centerpiece of the project that we're building. Whether we're using the API to get data in or get data out, or it's a plugin that we're building with OSGI to integrate straight with Java itself and the database layer, we're not restricted. There's nothing we can't build on top of dotCMS, right? So you're not really buying a product with dotCMS. Yes, there's a cost and a license, and there are things it does out of the box. For us, it is a starting point for our projects where anything you need to do on top of it, you actually have the capability of doing that. And without that, most of our projects couldn't actually be completed. If we were trying to build on something like ATG, we can't actually build the extensions we need for it. It's not meant to do that. So there's content management systems, and then there are what we would consider a platform. This is a content platform. It allows you to manage content, but it does a lot more than that from a development perspective. And that's realistically what we need, because we are not a generic content management solution company. We are a coding company that utilizes something like dotCMS to then fix an end solution. So the flexibility of a platform that we can make code to do almost anything you want, that's the real value for us. So one of the company cultural rules in Ethode is the golden rule. Every year we spend a considerable amount of time doing nonprofit projects that we feel like we identify with their mission and what they're trying to do. Right in our backyard happens to be the LeBron James Foundation. They have a nonprofit school that was started in Akron, and so we immediately had an interest, and they happened to reach out to us because they knew who we are. We're not too far from Akron, we're about 2 miles. So we decided to take on the project at no cost for Akron, and because dotCMS is our preferred CMS, and they had a tight deadline of about 3 weeks from actual coding to implementation, it was beneficial for us to use a platform that we use for most of our projects. We reached out to dotCMS, and they were more than happy to help. They had a discounted license for the nonprofit startup, and we were able to actually design and then code the entire site as a one-page app within 3 weeks and launch for the school launch in Akron. For us, this is a win-win. We really believe in what they're doing. We believe in education. We believe in what the I Promise School represents and how it can change the Akron Public School District's operational standards. And we're happy that dotCMS came along for the ride with us. So for the LeBron James Foundation, part of their requirement was they have other ventures that they're involved with, not to mention the LeBron James site itself. So part of the allure of utilizing dotCMS is their multi-tenant, multi-site feature. Rather than having a WordPress site for the school, another Squarespace site for LeBron James' site, we can actually put all the sites on one platform. We can manage who's allowed to see which sites, and they can organize all their content on one platform. So instead of having 4 or 5 different systems that you're constantly having to maintain, upgrade, secure, patch, or worse, hire other teams that have to manage and then have multiple teams you're working with, you can have all your sites on one platform, and that platform is ubiquitous across the organization, and you work with one partner to maintain all those sites from a development standpoint.